it's Kayla, and today I'm going to be doing a tag that I was actually tagged in. I'm going to be doing Todd's Tag, created by the wonderful Todd the Librarian. I was tagged to do this tag by Lisa over at CoffeeBeans and BookMarks, and I'm drinking a cup of iced coffee in honor of Lisa. I'll have their videos linked down below. Please go check them out. Both their channels and specifically their version, their answers to this tag are amazing. Obviously, Todd made the tag, so, you know, it's pretty good. Anyways, let's get started. Question 1 is, have you ever regretted joining Booktube? No, not even kind of. I regret not joining sooner. I've been watching Booktube for about 3 years. I've been watching YouTube for longer. However, 3 years ago, I was almost pregnant. When I was pregnant, my first YouTube videos were actually a couple of pregnancy update vlogs, and they're hidden now because I only did a couple and then that was it. And now my daughter is like 2.5, so. But yeah, I wish I kind of joined sooner. However, the timing just wasn't right. I've thought about it for a long time. I wanted to do it for a long time. Life is busy, and life is busier with a 2-year-old. And so now is just the best time to do it. I'm really glad I did. Question 2 is, what is the last theater movie you walked out on? And when I first heard this question, I was like, oh, I know I walked out on one movie before. And I haven't looked it up, I think it was called Vampire Sucks. Or Vampires Suck. So it was back in college and we went on like a matinee, no one was there, and we seriously we got up and left. I have fallen asleep one time in a movie theater. That was also in college when I was working night shifts full time, and we went and saw Alice in Wonderland, the live action version. Question 3 is, what character do you remember the most? It's a hard question. There's a lot of really memorable characters. I want to say most recently would be most of the characters from Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. It's like my new favorite book. I'm obsessed. For the answer, I want to say Door from Neverwhere. She's pretty cool. She's like one of the main protagonists in the novel. And then overall, I guess not recent, I want to say Mr. Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I've always remembered him. I love the character. I love that he's like a centaur, he's a non-human character. He's just great. Question 4, which classic novel do you feel in tune with or identify with the main character the most? I've never read a book and felt that was me, or that was being told about me. I don't know if it's just because I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to read other than me. So I haven't picked, but I would still think I would kind of pick up on it. So I've never found anyone that I felt like I identified with. But as far as in tune, I want to say The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is just one of my favorite books from growing up. I'm not sure if it's considered a classic. And also the Wizard of Oz. 5, if you could meet anyone from history, who would it be? I think it'd be cool to meet Jesus. Does that count as history? Also, I think it'd be really cool to be and live when the Western expansion was happening in the United States. So I think it'd be cool to meet Sacagawea or Lewis and Clark. I grew up in Montana, and so that was the main state history we learned. I guess the only thing I really remember learning about. The apocalypse strikes and you can only bring one of your books into the wasteland with you. Which book do you take? I don't own that many books. I used to own a 2000s World Almanac. I won it from something. Dictionary? I have a dictionary. I have a Webster's dictionary. I'm gonna say my bind up of Wizard of Oz. It's down there. You can't see it. But it's a bind up of all 5 stories. 4, I can't remember how many there are. If anything, it's pretty big, so it'd be good for a fire, I guess. Question 7, if you could write a masterpiece, what would your subject matter or genre of choice be? I'm not a writer, however my favorite genre is fantasy. I think it'd be fun to write a new epic high fantasy that takes a spin of all the traditional tropes that are in high fantasy and just do like a modern twist, or kind of do like a modern high fantasy or like a futuristic high fantasy, something like that. I think that'd be cool. Question 8, if you were a drink, what would you be? My favorite? I think I would be a summer blonde beer. So like, you know, those flavored beers, like the lemon beers that come out in the summer, like the summer shandy. I think I'd be that. Question 9, what is your favorite foreign language book? Hands down, Don Quixote, The Adventures of Don Quixote, whatever the title of those stories are. Read that in junior or senior year in high school. I love the idea of it. I love like all the metaphors of the different monsters and different battles that Don Quixote thinks he's seeing, and it's fun. And I read that in Spanish and it was really fun. I'd love to get a copy of those stories. I'm not sure if I would want it in Spanish anymore, just because it's something that I don't speak or read in anymore, but I've always loved Don Quixote and his stories for sure. And question 10, what separates us from other life forms on Earth? I want to say empathy. I'm a very empathetic person. I often feel the pain and anxiety from close loved ones. I'd like to think animals are empathetic, but I'm not sure. I also really liked Lisa's answer, talking about how humans engage and love art and music and books and history and science and all those things. I definitely, obviously that's a big one. You know, animals out there sadly do not have that, or other life forms, I guess. But maybe the wind is their own music, or the rain is their music. Cool question though, thanks Todd. Okay, and that's it. Those are all the questions from Todd's Tag. I'll tag some people down below. I'm gonna look and see who hasn't done this tag already. So check down there to see if you're tagged. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!